This is the first exercise after a proper warm up, and players really need to be ready to go because it is a 100% exercise. Players will start with the ball, dribble as quick as they can up towards the gate, pass through to the next player, and then chase that player. So they need to get round the gate and try and catch that player as they dribble up before passing through to the next player. If you find that the defenders are having too much success, don't allow them just to pass through and then run round the end of the gate. Use this cone here. Play with the distance to see how far away it needs to be that it becomes a competitive race. It should be a case of the attackers get most of the success, but not overly. So it should be like a 60-40 attacker to defensive win. In this exercise, players will be working with the players on the outside with the attacking players on the inside. So for this setup, you have got the Reds and the Blacks will be working together against the Blues. I, as the coach, call out 1, 2, 3, 4 in a random order. However many footballs you've got, that's how many you've got. Let them play for that. You'll find that the Blues have to work together as a cohesive unit because the Reds can be used by the Blacks to keep possession. They're not allowed to shoot, but they can keep possession of the ball for the Blacks. The Blues need to work together to move side to side and press the ball. They should try and block as many shots as possible or stop as many shots as possible. As soon as the Blues have defended, they become the outside players, outside to attackers, attackers to defenders. In this setup, we're looking at moving the ball side left to right, and the team who are out of possession try and press the ball. Again, we're looking at working as a cohesive defensive unit, so that communication of when to press, when to balance, when to cover. The team in possession are allowed to pass the ball into the end zone player, and then any one of the team can transfer with that player. They can substitute with him. So if this player here has the ball and they pass all the way in here, I wouldn't expect that player to transition and substitute with that one, the one in the end zone. Either one of these guys, whoever is closest to the ball, whoever is closest to the transition zone, can step in. The game at the end changes the dynamic, so rather than working just left to right, we do add in the goals at either side. Consider what you want to get from this game. For me, it would be a case of, can we drop back in, create a good strong defensive shape? If we win the ball, can we attack quickly, get the ball into the wide area and then attack goal? You might ask the guys who are wide to cross the ball, you might ask them to drive into the middle, you might ask them to take a touch and shoot. That's up to you. Decide what you want to get from this exercise and add the conditions that are appropriate. For the next exercise, after a good warm-up, we're looking at a distance between the end of the cones and the D, or the end of the cones and the footballs, of 35 yards. Think about how long you want your players to run, think about how far they need to work and how long they need to work. So for this one, for me, it's 35 yards of a sprint before going into 2v2, and they're working 4 sets of 5 minutes. Consider what is appropriate for your players. For this one, it is almost identical to the last exercise where we have a transition box at the end. Players play it in, someone takes their position, and they come in. Again, are there any conditions that you want to put in? This one might be, are we playing 1 touch, are we playing 2 touches, unlimited touch? It's your decision. For team shape and defensive structure, I normally set up where we have our defensive third is demarcated, and then the wide areas are set out by cones as well. So if the opposition, so if this is the red team, get the ball across the blue line and play into a wide area, I have a structure of how to press. If the ball is in the centre area, I have a structure of how I want to set up. I'm sure you've got your own structure, your own setup. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. For the games, we want to make this short and sharp. So the length of the field was 25 yards. The width of the field was 18 yards. We played 3 minutes game. I've got I've got an app on my phone that just helps me keep track of the scores, who's playing who next, and it just helps things flow. So 25 yards long, 18 yards wide, short, sharp, get the ball moving, loads of goals. For the final session of the week, after the warm-up, we're looking at a 5-yard distance between the worker in blue and each of the reds. Make sure that the calls are nice and clear from the player who's at 3 and 4. The guy who's at 1 and 2 counts the number of calls. So the total amount is 10. After 8 calls, this player at 1 and 2 just lets them know last 2, final 2, 2 left, whatever he wants to say to let them know that they're almost at the end. As soon as they have done 10, everyone rotates clockwise. This player will come into work, this player goes out to count, and so on. After I do this, just touching hands, working backwards and forwards, and making sure that on the way back into the gate, the player in the middle calls a number. I don't want the player here waiting for a number. But after he does that, the second time through, this player has a ball at their feet, this player has a ball in their hand, this player has a ball at their feet, and there's a left foot pass, right foot pass, up for header. This is a setup that I use, and it's how I want my team to go to goal. So it's an easy setup of a 1-2 in the middle of the park, driving the ball wide, dribbling inside, 1-2, playing through for a finish from the other side. Consider how you want your team to attack. If you've got half a field, go through passing patterns to get your guys used to going to goal, or girls. This one's a bit more structured, and it starts with movement from player 2. So player 1 cannot pass until 2 moves, drives up the ball, top of the foot, driven pass, plays it into the middle. Player at 3 checks away and then towards. Now if it's coming from the right hand side, I ask player 3 to control the ball with the right foot before shooting right foot. 1 moves to 2, 2 moves to 3, 3 goes out to where 4 is, and 4 starts the next passing pattern. 5 will check off, 4 passes to 5, 5 passes into where 3 is, 3 will check away from the ball towards the ball, and I'm asking them to control and shoot with the left foot here. That's it, and then it moves right, left, right, left. The next progression I normally do is having 2 defenders, so 1 and 4 against 2, 3 and 5. If 1 drives the ball up the line to 2, 2 must pass to 3. As that's happening, 1 and 4 must come in and touch the post, come out and defend against these 3 attackers. The final game at the end, the field is actually wider than it is long. This is to try and set it up so that players can shoot from almost anywhere on the field. That is the only condition I give to the game. When I'm telling the players about the game, the instruction I give to them is shoot. As many shots as possible in this environment. It's 36 yards long, so hopefully with the age group that I'm working with, as soon as they receive the ball and get it out their feet, they should be looking to try and shoot, or at least set up one of their teammates to shoot. It's wider than it is long, so if the ball goes wide, we're looking at a crossing option or a through ball option to try and set up an attacking effort. That's those 3 sessions for that week. If you guys have got any questions, please feel free to get in touch.